Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Before we start the video, I'm going to talk about a fundraiser that I'm going to be doing. So my Ironman is in 2 months on May 22nd. And as I said in my first video, I wanted to do a fundraiser as I'm training for my Ironman, and I'm doing one of the biggest physical feats that I've ever done. So while I'm training for this and doing something for myself, I wanted to give back. And I've paired with Community Crew to do a GoFundMe page, as well as just promote what they offer. So I'm going to give you a brief overview here, and I'll put some things in the description that you can check out. So they have 2 different ways that we can donate to them. The one through the GoFundMe that I've set up that goes directly to the Community Crew, and 2 is their 12 for 12 program. So first off, I'll explain a little bit about Community Crew. They're a local charity that organizes lunches from the funds that are raised from everybody that contributes to give to children in need in the Niagara region. They're in 27 different schools at the moment, serving 3,500 lunches a week. They're going to be at around 250,000 lunches at the end of the year and in 30 different schools around the region. And these are for children that don't necessarily come or have nutritious lunches or have lunches at all. And the volunteers go out, pack the lunches, put little notes in for the children, and they spread nutritious food for the children as they grow up and they're going to school, for their brains and as they need it. They're an amazing organization with amazing people running it, and this is what I'm going to be doing the fundraiser for. As I said, the 12 for 12 program is another way you can donate. It's $12 a month for a year, so 12 months. And that provides the minimum of 75 lunches for children throughout that whole year. So just imagine the impact you can have. That could be an entire grade full of students on your own. And if you decide you want to donate more or less, whatever you decide is an amazing contribution. I'll put the GoFundMe and the links down below. Enjoy the video. This video is about fear. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one, but it's going to hit home. What I want to talk about here is the fear that we all experience. Everyone experiences fear, even including the most successful people, even including the people that do the things that you're like, wow, I wish I could do that, or I want to do that. And fear debilitates. For me, going through fear, having to let out all the deepest, darkest, scariest fears are the most important thing, because otherwise all of your actions are dictated by those fears. Feeling like you're fearful, subconsciously you avoid those things, even though you don't want that, even though you don't want those results that it's getting you. And it's hard to see because those habits, habitual ways of thinking, are so deep in your brain that you start to do things that you don't like to avoid these things getting you results you don't like. So you have to let those fears out. You have to dig deep and talk to people. Just tell people about them. And it has to be someone that will support you, that will be there for you, that is there for you, that's on that high level of feeling, that appreciates you, that accepts you for who you are. Because those are the people that will truly see through those fears, and they know that they aren't you. Because be careful who you tell them to, because some people might take it the wrong way or judge you. And that's not you. Those fears are not you. Just think about knowing that I'm going to tell this person and I'm going to let them go. Because once you let them go and you let those fears out and you share it with someone that lifts you up, that sees you for who you really are and your truest potential, because that's who you are. Those fears aren't you. Letting them out allows you to express yourself. And I've noticed that over the years for me, it was continually getting those out. And as you let them out, start to focus on what you do want, and start to focus on and create the image of the person that you want to be, and focus on that, because your brain was focusing on the fear and it was giving you the results you don't want. And what you focus on is what you get and what you start to see. Because if you focus on something that makes you feel bad all the time, that's what you're going to feel. If you focus on what makes you feel good, that's what you're going to feel, and that's what you're going to get. It's just like goals. When you focus on it and you start to work towards it, you achieve it. It's just like your mind. What you focus on, what you keep working towards, becoming, not becoming because you are, but continually honing in and focusing on that person you want to be, It pulls that person out of you because you are it. It's inside of you. It's waiting. All the answers are inside. You just have to get through those fears and unlock and push all that stuff out. Clear that garbage out of there so your true self can come in. Have you ever noticed that you've had big revelations, that you've had these moments where you're like, wow, I feel amazing. This is what I want to do. Next day, gone. Snap, see you later. Oh, it wasn't meant to be. You're like, oh, it's so scary. That's because all those virus code and the things that you've been implanted on, the society, what your teachers have taught you, what school has taught you, opinions of people, generational opinions from whoever, the environment that you're in has taught you that what is inside, forget about it. And whatever that virus code is for you is telling you not to worry about that. And that's your true spiritual perfection, who you really are, that amazing, amazing person inside of you. You are an amazing person, and it's coming to the surface always. Removing those fears, getting those out, seeing that they aren't you, releasing them, because everything moves to and through you. All ideas, all move to and through you as they go through your mind. You get involved with them, whether it be what you want or what you don't want. And then once you get involved, that's what subconsciously your body follows through. And that's why if you start to feel one way, you feel that way. If you focus on a thought that is what you don't like, you start to feel that. If you focus on what you do like and you start to get involved with that and see it and see what it feels like, see the things, the people, what it's like, that feeling to be there, and I've done it, that's what you get. So start to clear house in your brain. Start to clear house of what you don't like and start to see, because there are big, deep, deep, deep fears that you can only get to if you start clearing those top fears. And the only way, not the only way, there's plenty of ways to do everything, but a great way that's worked for me is to talk about it, is to let them out. No fear is too big to talk about. No thing is too weird. No thing, no fear is too bad, whatever your mind tells you to talk about. Because once you let that out, you see that you aren't alone, and that you are actually okay, and that this thing that you felt was holding you back was actually just there. You just needed to release it so you could move on. Try it for yourself. Move through those fears, crush them, and become the best person that you can be, because you are that person. One thing I do want to add as I'm coming to bed, and something came into my mind that I need to add to this video, is when you notice the fear coming up and you notice that you want to share it, it takes the decision immediately. Someone will pop into your head, and it takes that decision immediately to call them, or to go talk to the person that you know that you should go talk to, or do what you know that you should do. Because if you don't make that decision immediately, I would advise you to make it immediately, because if you don't, the paradigm, all of the habits and the fear will come in and say, you can do it later. And your brain will say, oh, no, I don't need to do that. And it will come up. And it takes you making the decision that I'm going to do this right now. And once you make the decision, fear is gone right away. See you later. You are on the other side of that fear wall. You've smashed through it. And you'll see that was easy. Because it really is. It takes the decision. But if you don't, you'll notice that your brain tells you, it's okay. There's no reason for you to do this. You don't need to do this. You can do it later. And you feel, oh yeah, I'll do it later. And then as later comes, you're like, I'll do it later. Do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, you'll forget. Or you'll feel it be stronger and stronger. Oh, I'll do it some other time. And then it feels like this huge thing that you need to tackle. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger because you feel like it's something, you just take it on right away. And I would advise you to do that, because you'll see that as you notice, this is what I'm fearing, and this is what the paradigm, all the different habits that you've been instilled in you subconsciously are telling me to do, you take action immediately, opposite action of what it's saying. You'll notice that you'll start to see, and you'll start to have little successes and see that it actually isn't like what it says it is. And you'll start to see and gain evidence for, I'm doing this immediately, for what the goods that it has. And you'll start to see that there are so many more benefits. You'll see the benefits of what doing it right away does. And you'll start doing it right away. you'll start seeing, I need to do this right away. And yes, the fear still kicks in. And yes, sometimes with certain things you might not be able to recognize, or you don't recognize that this is the fear. But as you do it more and more, it'll come second nature to you. And that's when you start to take over your life. You start taking over your life today. You got this.